Well, hello everybody, and welcome to Friday afternoon here on Tales from the Grim. We are getting ready to jump into Cypher System Monty Cook Games, Alice's own creation, Aether's Walkway. I'm going to shut up real quick, but I wanted to jump on just to let you know we have a brand new donations structure. If you look straight down, you can see how you can affect this collaborative narrative. Are able to give us advantage either as a player or as a group. You can give us critical successes as a player or as a group. And in addition to all of that, for the first time, we have ciphers and trinkets available to us. You can look down with that. Alice will be given some leeway in which to award us with things that could help us for the rest of the campaign or a specific period of time. Always up to Alice. And in addition to that, two other things. Anything that's donated to the stream gets added to whatever was donated previously and whatever will be donated after. Whenever we reach the 50, 100, and 150 threshold, Alice is given more ammunition to take care of us. To make things more challenging, to put us in our place, to make sure that her world is as dangerous and deadly as it could possibly be. And the other thing I wanted to let you know, 100% of all the funds donated go equally to the cast because it is their passion that helps to form one of the legs of this collaborative narrative. But with that, everybody, I am super excited and I am also done. I am going to give it away to Alice.
We left on a pretty intense foot last night as Cantor had charged himself fully for this escape from the hospital. And we left it as Zarina and Cantor were in the underground car park trying to find a car to this escape. And as it does, everything went quiet. And especially from your point of view, Zarina, there was this white light.
Mm-hmm.
And it was blinding. From what seems, feels almost like minutes. And Zarina, you feel your feet leave the ground as this explosion sort of takes part and sort of rushes this air. You almost feel like someone has come forward and just swung and hit at you. You leave the floor and you feel yourself flying across this car park, hitting the back wall, sliding across this concrete. And for a moment, there is just this blazing white light, this dust, you can feel this debris fall as you sort of have to cover your face and close your eyes. And Loxy, from where you were just coming through that window. As you came tearing down the other end of the corridor, you were just about to round on that staircase downwards, down to the garage, when there was this pause of silence, and you can remember almost hearing that rush of wind and that gush of air, and it's more her, and then the explosion happened. You yourself, you sort of easily protect yourself because you can hear it coming, whether it's crossing your arms in front of your face as you do. You get blown almost back up the stairs, and there is this ear-shattering scream from the people around as you hear the doof, doof, doof as all the windows on that floor shatter, and you get thrown back and all the glass sort of clatters around on the ground. And this explosion sort of creates this rush of air, and you are left in this corridor surrounded by glass, surrounded by panic. The sprinklers are going off. You can hear some alarms going off as well. What are you doing as you get thrown back? And you can see almost the shudder of this building as you look up and you see the whole building quiver.
Does it look like the building's about to come down?
It doesn't look like it's in it's about to drop, but it doesn't look fully stable. You can see you can hear lots of birds and screeches now that all the windows are shattered from where you, not just from where you came through, you heard all that glass shatter into the open, sort of that big greenery in the center. The birds are going wild. You can hear people panicking, alarms going off. And when I say you're dazed, it's more just gathering your bearings. Everything seems to move slightly in slow motion, but you can definitely get back up.
Yeah, I would get up. I'd check behind me to see if I'm being pursued still, and then I'd probably just continue on forward to see to try and get to either our car or any car for that matter.
Okay, you look around. You can see some of the people who were pursuing you, but they've been knocked right back. One of them is sort of rolling on that glass as you hear it clatter, and you hear the sort of the groans and things like that as it sort of comes from them. But you manage to easily sort of, you can slink away down those steps that you were just blown back up from, and you can head down into the garage. So for Livewire and Hybria, you had just left the elevator and you'd come out onto the floor. I will say you can see the one level lower. If not, you're basically on the same level. You know, it's only one flight of stairs and a very short one. You would have felt this real sort of rocking, and you would have seen and heard all of this glass just shatter. You could see on your level, the glass doesn't shatter fully, but you can see the spider web of cracks sort of move all the way through it. And particularly Hybria, if you look up, you can see dust and debris slowly starting to fall in this crack, sort of worming its way across the ceiling. What would you like to do?
I think Hybria is just going to keep moving forward. Like, there was a limited amount of time where Livewire was going to be okay before they, got hooked up to something again. So I think she's like, oh shit, but let's go. Even more reason to book it. So she probably is going to pick up her pace actually to like a power walk. Half jog power walk.
Okay, you can definitely pick up your pace. You can see that it is chaos. People are either running into the rooms to get other patients, or you've got the alarms are almost deafening with how loud they're getting. And what is Livewire doing? Because Livewire, you don't have anything drop on you, but you can definitely see the dust and the dirt sort of fall from the ceiling.
And we're in the elevator getting out into the parking garage?
Not into the parking garage, almost like the floor up. You're like on the other side from where Loxy was, on the other side of the building, but the parking garage is like completely underneath. You did, both of you, feel that the whole building sort of shake and move. It's almost like an earthquake where the ground just moves beneath you.
But we have no idea what that means. There's just some kind of...
You heard an explosion.
Assault.
It was almost like a... But it was very muffled with everything that was going on. It was... And you would have seen probably streams of bright white light coming from somewhere, but like pockets of it coming out of the staircases and stairwells, not anything.
So definitely some sort of assault. So I'm being wheeled, and we're being wheeled hopefully towards some kind of vehicle, right?
That was the plan.
Yeah. I'm going to keep my eyes open as best I can with my limited mobility. But again, the goal is to not look suspicious, right? To look, and I think I've got my old man sort of illusion up. And I'm it's spin identity, it's illusion. Just gonna not, like, things are happening, not call attention, but keep my eyes open just in case this explosion was some sort of assault by the supremacy. Like, I don't know how, like, there are gunshots, like we have troops around, so I don't know how bad, like, what all is happening in the hospital.
I will say you do, from last week, you are able to maintain the connection with Loxy. That mental link, you can definitely maintain that. It didn't disrupt anything to that effect. But Hybrid, you're able, if anything, in a way it's played to your advantage as much as everything, but it's more because no one is paying attention to you now. And if they are, they're not really going to find it easy to get to you because of the chaos that is currently going around. You can definitely head down some of the stairs. You're sort of fighting against the crowds, but no one's trying to stop you. I will say you can see some supremacy sort of behind you, and they look like they're looking for you, but they haven't spotted you. Half of them look like they were thrown off of their feet as well.
Cool. Yeah, definitely just trying to take advantage of the mayhem. Like, we had a plan. Hybria's sticking to the plan, and she's just trying to get out of the building and down to the hopefully vehicle that's there waiting.
I'm gonna just ping over to Loxy. Loxy, do you have eyes on what happened? Is it the supremacy? And that's all in my mind because I'm not saying it out loud because I'm, my jaw's wired shut. It's not wired shut, but I'm not in a good way. My bone powder is reknitting. So.
I'm growing my bones back. Yeah.
I'll just respond. I don't know what happened. There's an explosion in the garage where I got knocked back a few feet, but I'm trying to find the car.
We're on our way. I don't think we've been made yet.
All right, I'll let you know where to meet me.
Okay.
And I'll say, hi, Rhea, you'll definitely know that all the staircases down to the next level will lead to the garage because it's just the whole floor is just a garage. You'd just be on opposite ends, if anything. But
this is a hover bed, right?
Yeah,
not a
you
rolly
don't.
bed. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
going down the stairs like, yeah, no, you're not.
Sorry, Lemore.
Yeah, you can definitely sort of weave him through every now and then. It's not comfortable in the way that you're being knocked because so many people are trying to run past you. You hear a lot of yelling. You're getting a bit soggy. There's a lot of sprinklers that are being set off at the same time. But if anything, you're looking around and people are either just dripping wet, but they've got that dust, that sort of debris, sort of almost like that gray sort of sandy color that is just smeared over their faces as they try and figure out what happened.
Nurse, it seems like there's been some sort of explosion. I say to Hybria in my old man liver spot self.
Yes, you are very astute for someone who is regrowing bones. Now, shush, we'll get you out of here.
Just quiet. Shh.
Blanket.
Yeah, you pull the blanket up over his face and you can keep moving.
I'm not dead yet.
Go for a walk. Zarina, you have this moment of full disorientation. You were skidded across this. Well, first of all, you left the ground, and when you hit it again, you kept going. You kept skidding. This huge explosion, and your ears are ringing. There's dust sort of covering you. You can feel it sort of in your lungs. I mean, you probably have modifications that help with that anyway.
A breather mask.
Exactly.
Yeah. Not
so it's
much
like
gets through this. I'm like, oh, I taste a speck of dust. That's odd.
It's more like the blue hair is now this gray.
It's in my eyes.
You're
and I'm like,
caked in all of this stuff. You feel a bit battered. You haven't taken like any damage or anything, but you have hit the wall hard. It's more like it's taken the breath out of you for a moment, and there is dust everywhere, almost like this fog.
I think after like blinking, maybe rubbing the dust out of her eyes a bit, and just squinting, she'd go, Cantor? And like peel herself off the wall.
And in front of you, it's kind of weird. It's like walking through a fog or walking through a mist.
And she's gonna walk low because there are people with guns. So yeah, she's crouch walking.
Could you roll me do a straight up intellect check, please?
Hands are on the control button. I'm walking, crouch walking.
Walking.
Intellect check. Sure. Oh, 18.
Yeah. Okay, so on that, you are sort of moving through this dust, this dirt, and you can sort of not feel it sting your eyes, but you can feel it, like your eyes keep blinking to try and get rid of it. And you definitely, as you're sort of crawling down low, you come past one of the supremacy that have been fully blown back. You can see one of the rocks has definitely sort of hit them, and they're either knocked out or, well, they're not feeling great. But you can see them just lying on the floor. They seem to be completely. You can see another one that seems to have like hit a wall, very much like you. You can see them moaning and groaning. They don't seem to be getting up anytime quick. But you can see them, and sort of through this mist is this light, almost as if it's not dulling, but like when a torchlight slowly, as a battery starts to run.
If there's
out.
one on the ground kind of KO'd near me, I'm gonna take their gun.
Yeah, you can definitely take their gun.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that because I don't have any weapons. So, sounds like a good idea right now. And I'm gonna go cautiously towards the light.
Okay. Cantor,
I need to pick up the pieces of Cantor,
Yeah.
or
Isn't the phrase "don't go to the light" like
Stay
don't
away from the light.
stay away from the light, Carolyn?
What
Fine,
does
they can put it back
Cantor
together.
look like right now? And you're not almost in, you don't look, not with it, that's not the right word, but you're currently still probably focused on what you are on. But what does Zarina find as she moves through this dust?
As the light would begin to, like you said, like a torch losing battery, or a light beginning to dull, in an almost a messianic pose inside, with arms spread, Cantor's hair is lifted off of his shoulders and kind of fanned around him. His clothing is lifted up as if he is being buffeted from below by a gale, and he is on his tiptoes, but the tips of his toes are about 2 inches above the ground. And as the light fades, he would begin to sink, his eyes still closed though.
Okay. And Zarina, that is what you would see. You'd see almost that point where Cantor slowly starts to not fall. In fact, it seems almost incredibly graceful how it's not like a collapse. But you can see him, and he doesn't look injured in any way whatsoever.
She makes a big old mental note of that. So yeah, that sounds like some super black market or even maybe military grade test stuff. It's some interesting mods. And she'll wait till maybe like a second for him to hit the ground, maybe look a little more present, and then she'll approach Cantor.
As soon as he would kind of get flat-footed from, tip of his toe down to ball, down to heel, he would continue to drop. His knees would give out, his hips would, as whatever was holding him up is being released like a marionette with the strings cut, and his eyes would open about halfway towards his descent to the ground.
As your eyes slowly sort of open, you can hear that almost like distant, foggy voice of Zarina, but you don't see her. You don't see her at all. In fact, as you sort of open your eyes, there's this moment where you look around and you're not in the garage. You're nowhere near the garage. You're nowhere near the hospital. You don't really... It's almost like deja vu as you are looking through a set of eyes, and you feel a familiarity with it, and you are sat in almost like in a seat, and in front of you is this dashboard that sort of surrounds you. Very, very small compartment sort of area. You can see huge windshield at the front of you, these large sort of 3 windows. You can see along this panel is just all number of sort of levers, buttons, toggle, all these different lights sort of going off, but you almost feel like yourself has just been put into this space, like you've been dropped into a body. And you can sort of look around, and out of this window, you can see this almost lots just clouds rushing up towards you. There's an alarm somewhere. At first it sounds muffled. You think it's Serena's voice, but then it sort of turns into this heavy alert. And you can see one of the buttons on your dashboard is just flashing. You can see all of the different dials sort of almost like they're losing control. They're now bouncing off of all of these controls. Sort of tucked in to the top of where this window is. As you are rushing down, you're rushing through these clouds. You can hear the alarms and you can see water rushing up towards you. What would you do?
Can he react in any way? Can he like brace himself? Can he he would default to using the powers that he knows. He would try to cast a kinetic field around himself just to kind of protect himself from the fall.
Yeah. Roll me an intellect check to try and do that. Difference of 3, please.
Okay.
Just to see level.
Success.
Yeah. What does it look like as he's trying to do this?
If this is a fall and he's rushing, he would kind of be pushing back as far as he could. And again, he would put his hands onto his own chest, and you would see that digital blue, that spread of living circuitry kind of envelop him and then disappear as soon as it kind of connects, as soon as the circuit is made. So it just wraps him in a techno cocoon for a second.
You look down, and as you're sort of, charging yourself up, you can see that blue static just sort of running through. You can feel it. And you're looking down at a pair of much younger hands. Sort of maybe in their mid-20s is probably a rough guess. And you're sort of holding it, and as you sort of pause to look up, as you are feeling this energy build, you can see tucked in to part of the dashboard as everything is just almost losing control. You can feel this ship that you're in, this one-man ship sort of almost being flung around. All the sort of scenery is sort of turning and just whooshing past. And you see that picture. 2 boys and a girl smiling, arms around each other, the same one from that box, just tucked in, very worn but very lovingly, sort of in the side of it. And as your hands on your chest charging, you sort of peel it back and you can see that pendant around your neck. And then at that moment, that rush, you feel that full impact as this ship hits the water. And it's almost like, at first it feels like a crash. And then there's a very eerily gentle moment as it starts to sink. And you can see by the edge of where some of the windows are, this just little spouts of water starting to file in.
He would definitely be panicking now. He would attempt to look to see if there was some way to eject, some way to, blow off the canopy to get out before it sank any further.
Could you roll me a speed check? Because you almost feel like you know where everything is, but you got to do it quick.
Difficulty or just...
Difficulty is 3.
Success with a 19.
Okay. So it's almost... the way to describe it is you right now, you don't know what's happening, but it's like a memory. It's like a memory of knowing what to do. For some reason, you know how to unlock the belts that are keeping you in place. You know where everything is. So how does Cantor get out? How are you sort of doing this? As you see your ship fully submerged. You can see, just as that water is rising up, you can see the land disappear. And you're just going into this dark water.
What he would do and perhaps this is a memory of the moment and not a memory that he would possess now, he would wait until the canopy is fully submerged before he would like blow it. That way it could avoid like tilting him or having a problem inside a fluid surface. If it's suspended all around, he'd have more control over the environment. So he would blow the canopy, and as soon as it kind of just latched off, he would push up with the seat and begin to swim and kind of climb and crawl towards the surface.
Okay. You have this moment because you can feel the drag as the ship continues to sink. And as it does, could you make me a might check to swim against this drag as it starts to pull you down?
A 3 again?
Yes, please.
Another 19 success.
Rolling well today. Okay, so as you have this moment where you can sort of pause, and almost like a looming shape or shadow, you do manage to pull yourself away from this drag that is coming from beneath you. You feel heavy in the clothes that you're wearing, but it's not stopping you. And you have this moment where if you look down, you just see the ship sink and almost disappear into that darkness. You think you can see something else almost just move beneath, sort of snatch part of that ship and drag it further down. But you manage to break the surface, and from that dark water, you're still in this very almost gloomy atmosphere, very grey skies. It's almost a little bit sepia in color when you look around, but that it's almost as if you're there. You can feel that air entering your lungs. You feel like you've been holding your breath for far too long. And over in the distance, you can see someone else in the water. Just, hey, like sort of yelling, as you can see as they're waving an arm, and they're at a way of a distance, but you can see it's another man.
Cantor, hey, and he'd start to swim towards the only indication of life he's seen.
And as you start to move, you can see this other person is trying to swim as well. They seem to be only like moving themselves with one arm. And you can see sort of as they approach, they don't get quite close to you, they're still shouting. This fairly again, very youngish sort of man. He's got this bizarrely smiling face of relief on his face. He's like, this very dark skin, this dark, sort of very dark hair, which looks like it was probably neat at one point. And he's just like, I didn't think you were gonna make it. As he sort of laughs and sort of throws his head back and splashes towards you. And he sort of swims closer and closer. He's like, are you hurt?
No, I don't think so.
And he smiles at you, and you can feel such a familiarity in his face as he grins. I think that's the closest we've ever had. And you watch as there's almost like this bubble that comes up, and this water-stained photo of 3 children rises to the surface, and the man grabs it. You would have been devastated if you lost this. And that's when your eyes open and you can hear Serena in the garage And Zarina, what are you just yelling at Cantor to sort of bring him round?
If he looks like he was collapsing, she would have tried to catch him.
You can definitely catch him. It wasn't like a super fast
And I
motion.
think because there's people with guns after us, I just start heading towards the car. Like, everything's gonna... We're moving towards the car. She couldn't finish the everything's gonna be okay sentence because everything is obviously not okay. But she's just kind of like hearing him reassuring pats occasionally. Try to get him conscious or keep him from slipping under.
As soon as you would grab hold of Cantor, his arms would come up defensively and be pushing at you, and his eyes would be wild. And
Cantor,
who are you?
Cantor,
Who are you?
I'm Zarina. We are running away from the supremacy right now, and you caused a large explosion. We need to get to the car, the vehicle, to meet with Loxy, and Hybria, I think was the other one.
Zarina?
Yes.
Could you help me?
Yes. Okay. What do you need help with?
Who am I?
You're Cantor? I think that was the name that they gave me. Cantor. As far as I know, you're Cantor. We can work some more on
My
this.
picture, do you
in the vehicle.
have my picture? I'd be devastated without it.
I don't have your picture. And I'm like trying to kind of keep moving.
I'll say at that point, Loxy, you're sort of like, how elegant is it as Loxy comes down the stairs at that point? Your legs are probably a little bit wobbly, but as you enter the garage, that's when you're sort of on the other side of it.
I'd sort of like jump and glide down the stairs as fast as I could. Like, you know how sometimes people just like jump down a couple steps, but it would be like...
Yeah. And you have this, the scene you sort of walk upon is that almost stepping through this dust like a mist, you can see where pillars have started, some pillars have fallen, you can see the building doesn't look like it's going to collapse, but it doesn't exactly look great. You think parts of it could come down, and you can see Zarina sort of holding up Cantor, who doesn't look great.
Okay, I'd probably start sprinting towards them as fast as I can. And are the supremacy that were down there, are they still knocked out?
They seem to be knocked out. You can hear one or two of them like moaning and groaning, but they don't seem to be getting up anytime soon.
I'm gonna also, if their weapons are like strewn about, I'm just gonna start like kicking them away and like picking them up and like...
Well, the one that you can definitely find the one who's kind of moaning and groaning. He looks like he's trying to reach for something, but you can see almost the best way to describe it is like a much longer, almost like a rifle type of gun. But you've seen these are kind of basic, they're kind of simple. You can definitely grab that. It's probably just a little bit smaller than you.
Okay, well, I'm not gonna like fix to use it right now. I'm just grabbing it so he can't have it, and I'm gonna run towards Zarina and Cantor while shouting, "What happened? What's going on?" Cantor
Exploded, and half of these people won't remember anything leading up to that, or at least the last 10 minutes, and we need to leave before this decides to collapse further.
Yeah, and this...
Cantor's very confused post-explosion. Do you know about a picture? He's very concerned about his picture.
I'd be devastated without it.
Is it the one in the
Very
box?
concerned.
Well, let's get to the car. I think the box is in the car, and the picture should be in there as well.
And you can see almost as this dust is starting to settle, it's almost like how thick the sand is. It's like when sand at the beach, you feel like your feet are sinking into it with how much dust is coming down. You can see a huge rock where part of the ceiling has collapsed, has narrowly missed the car. You can see a dent in the side of your car, Loxy. Like the door, you'd have to move the rock to get the door, one of the side doors open. But I will say you see it, and at that same point on the other end of the garage, that is when Hybria and Livewire, how do they come down the stairs? Like, is it like full speed? Is it how are you doing?
Can I just ask a physiological question?
Yes.
So, Loxie's character, what is the name of her species?
Osirians.
Osirians. Because she was running across, I just wonder, having wings, when she runs, do her feet stay on the ground the entire time, or like every like third or fifth step? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I just wonder if she gets like a little bit of like 2 or 3 inches off the ground as she's running. I just want to know.
That's up to Loxie.
I like that visual where she's just like sprinting, but then every once in a while it'll just be like,
Because I
Like a
could totally
bird
see
caught
it.
on a breeze. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. I just needed to know because I just saw it in my mind, right? Because especially if you're sprinting really fast, I can just imagine
Yeah.
just that little bit of lift.
Because that's how I pictured her going down the stairs, where like she'd like jump and just sort of like glide down like half the flight. And so to add that onto the flat running is pretty great.
So cute, it hurts me.
I know, me too.
So probably like a stark opposite, Hybria like bursts open the door, and whoever saw her like when they were up at the hospital room, like somewhere between then and now, she has changed her outfit somehow. So she's just wearing like a dark maroon, like long full like bodysuit thing with a leather jacket thrown on top, and she is just like pounding the ground as she's like now at this point probably running and like pushing Livewire while intermittently like looking behind her shoulder to be like, supremacy there? Anyone there?
You can see a lot of supremacy on the ground, if that's where you're going to look. But you can see Zarina, Cantor, and Loxie sort of by the car. You recognize the car you came in it.
Yeah, it's like a big van, right?
Yeah, it's like a
So-
big van. You can see a rock that's definitely lodged against one of the doors and dented one of the doors in, and part of the ceiling has collapsed down.
Mhm.
I will say you can all hear alarms going off. No sprinklers have set off down here, but if anything, they look like they were blown off. Rather than they're just not working. But with the alarms going on, you all know supremacy, and the Watchers won't be far behind if you don't move.
Cool. Before I do move, I see everyone. I'm like, hey, we're coming. But I do want to just like scan the ceiling to see if there's any chunks that are gonna fall on us as we run over.
Yeah, roll a straight up intellect
Straight up
check for me just to see how much you
which
see.
I am trained in, so therefore something. Submit. And that is, wow, okay. I think I'm gonna use one of my advantages.
It hasn't loaded for me yet. What did you get?
I got a 1
Oh, there
with the
we are.
DM
Oh,
intrusion. So I'm
This
gonna
looks
use an advantage. It's like as I'm looking up, a chunk of it falls on my
Falls.
Bonk.
Yeah.
Okay. This time it's a 9. And I'm
Okay,
trained.
so you sort of look around, and it's as you almost like scan through, and you can assess every single crack, every single motion. You're seeing, particularly in one area, some debris fall. You don't think the whole building's going to collapse, but you definitely think the floor above you is going to, because there is a weight on it, and a lot of the actual like structures that keep it up have just been decimated. So you reckon
Ooh.
you've got about 5 minutes to get out of here before that floor just drops.
All right. Well, I'm going to sprint at full speed across the entire thing, and I'm going to go like extra fast because I have endurance, which means that, I don't know, I can do more physical stuff or whatever. So I'm just like, Livewire, hang on tight, and just.
I lay there.
And I'm picturing
Later.
Hybria running full speed in like little
Ye-
little stilettos.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely cat heels, kitten
Yeah.
heels. That are like attached to the bodysuit somehow.
Yeah, it's just like quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
my little hands try to grip the side of the hover bed, but you know.
Well, your painkillers haven't run out or anything yet. It aches, but you're not feeling any of the pain.
That's nice.
Maybe a bit of a treat. You've had a rough time.
Well, but no, what I meant to say is that's nice for now, because what you said is they haven't run out yet. I just noticed the yet. That's all.
Hybria, you can see the three of them sort of crowded around the car looking at it because it's been hit by it, but they're not necessarily moving quickly. Are you yelling anything as you
fast
go?
as I can.
Yeah. I'm like sprinting over there, and I cry
I'm
out.
waiting for Loxy to open the door. I'm like pulling the handle.
Yeah.
Pulling the handle.
I estimate that we have
wait.
approximately 5 minutes before this floor collapses, so we need to get the car started. We need to get Livewire loaded up. Let's go. And I'm like,
Loxy
yells
pushes
for-
a button on her vest and the car starts, but Zarina keeps pulling at the same time as she's trying to unlock it. I'm like, hold on, just wait.
Sorry.
Yeah, you can hear other car
now.
alarms going off. Some of them have been crushed, but after that point,
Cantor in the side, and then I fling open, like I crawl and fling open the back so we can just put the bed in there. Just whoop.
yeah, it's almost one smooth motion as Zarina throws the back doors open. Hybrid, you can keep running and just.
yeah,
sort of-
I just run in and hop in.
I was gonna say you can hop in as you sort of slide live wire in.
It's useful that we have like a what do you call it, like a garage van. Like it's useful that like that we like that there's a person that has a garage here because.
Yeah.
And I'll say, Loxy, it is the driver's seat that is sort of crushed by this rock. However, you're small enough to climb over it. If anyone else was trying to get into it, it probably would be a problem. But you can very easily sort of, you probably need Zarina. I was about to say wind the window down. We don't even have that now. Like you probably get the window to drop down, and Loxy can definitely shows how old my car was. You can get Loxy in. And Loxy, I need you to make a speed check to get out. As you can, I'll say, Hybria, you can definitely hear after scanning the
Just
upper
a
floor
straight
starting
speed
to
check?
move. Yeah, straight speed check.
Alice, there's also something
I
called
can't-
power steering now too. I just
I mean, look,
Okay.
the first car I drove was a Mark 1 Land Rover, so I don't know. So, I don't know.
I rolled a 15, beats difficulty 5.
You describe how Loxy drives superbly out of there as the ceiling starts to drop. It's almost like that doof 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 as you see it sort of dropping behind you. What does it look like as Loxy drives?
It's
Speeds out here.
superbly chaotic. She's just gonna sort of like back out, try to avoid the rock, and like gun it out away from the. I assume it's one of those where you have to kind of like go down.
It's
But,
you have to sort of go down and then back up again to get out.
So sort of does one of these like almost like drifts out of the spot and like guns forward and starts just driving as fast as she can without losing control of the van, since it's, I'm assume, top heavy as a car.
Yeah,
So-
you can feel almost the ceiling collapsing behind you. If you look through, you think, and it says like objects may appear closer. You've got that sort of in the side, and you can just see the hospital sort of level just dropping and the chaos behind you. And then you almost, with this almost like gust and explosion of dust, you get out. And as you do, you pass Supremacy and Watcher cars that come flooding in towards the hospital grounds. But with this almost eruption of dust, it gives you that cover, like that moment of gliding past, and you can immediately join the traffic.
Yeah.
The car
I
looks
to
dirty. Like
slide
it looks
into-
bad.
Just a very merged.
But that dirtiness might have, perhaps that dirtiness obscured whatever logos might have been on the van,
Mhm.
so that it wasn't clear where this van was from, maybe? Oh.
What has happened within the back of the van with Hybria and Livewire? Because I will say both of you were almost flung about as that was sort of going on. Livewire probably more stable than Hybria purely because of the hover side of it. It sort of rocks and stabilizes as they're designed to do. But you doing anything in the back? And I will say, Hybrid, you can see that live wires counts are going down.
Can't do anything about that, so I noticed that, and I say, okay, it doesn't seem as though Livewire has much time, but he seems like a strong person and will be able to withstand the pain. More importantly, and she presses her face to like I assume there's a window of some sort in the van.
You can definitely see the 3 in the front.
Yeah, she peers out and she says, Did we just do a heist together? Did we complete a hospital heist? Was that explosion? Did we do that?
Yeah,
Yes.
apparently Cantor exploded.
Cantor, are you all right?
What is Cantor doing, and what does he look like right now?
Cantor would be almost, other than what he picked up from the moment that Zarina got to him till they got to the van, he's surprisingly clean. Probably cleaner than he was in the garage. Like, but he has the picture out of the 3 kids now. And when Hybria would say this, he would not register his name, but if she was speaking directly towards him, he would just look away from the picture and there would be tears that would run out of his eyes. And he would just lift up the picture. I found it.
Yes, I see you have found a photograph of children that is eliciting an emotional response in you. I more meant, were you all right from the explosion, but I understand that emotional explosions can also be quite taxing.
Wait, Cantor, do you remember this picture now?
Just be devastated without it.
You seem to be devastated with it as well, if you don't mind me saying.
He would just turn and go back to looking at it.
I will lock eyes with Loxy and just do one of those questioning looks.
Loxy's gonna shrug because last she knew, Cantor didn't remember if those were his items or not.
Okay. Is there a way I could... never mind. My pools are empty AF. So, where are we going?
I'm just gonna say, and everybody hears a slightly different voice, right? It's the supremacy. They're after us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do we know
I saw him give him a hug.
Well, he's trying to report in what he doesn't know what people know.
Are you streaming right now?
No, he's super drugged up right now.
Okay. Soon won't be as drugged up, but that's fine. Yeah. So gosh, it seems as though a lot of people are after us. The supremacy, my parents. I wonder if it's all tied together.
Yes.
Does your family have ties with the supremacy?
Alice, I had asked that kind of in my character description. I said that they would have gone with whatever the norm is, so they would be supporters of the supremacy.
Your family would probably be big supporters of the supremacy. Probably it's one of those things because the supremacy definitely are home on Osira. Their main sort of functionings there, and that tends to be where the bigger families like yours will be. It's where the most greenery is. It's where basically none of the build-up and pollution is.
Great.
It's nice. It's very pleasant.
It's nice there.
You can have a little bungalow.
Yeah, I'll reply to Loxy and say, yes, my family has been associated. What am I saying? My family has been strong supporters of the supremacy for my entire life. And I guess something here is also intersecting from that association.
Ms. Mingzhu, someone attempted to assassinate me there, and the person who did it was your family doctor.
Which
Ma-
family doctor?
Maxwell Mercedes.
What do I recognize? I know that
You-
he's my parents' doctor more so.
You
yeah.
would have, he might have been like your physician when you were much younger, before you had your own doctor.
Mhm.
But you would have seen him at parties, like if your family had dinner parties. I mean, he's grimy. He looks grimy. It's like he doesn't look like, you wouldn't look at him and go, "Oh, that's a trustworthy guy." He is. You would see him at parties, and he was very, just kind of up himself. Basically,
Mhm.
he was in it for the money. There was, you probably would have known as well. He was a doctor on like whatchamacallit? He was a doctor on Mara
Mhm.
before he came to Asira, purely because it paid well,
Hmm.
and doctors were known for keeping people's secrets.
Didn't we have a clue from Mara as well? Like the hard drive was from Mara. Interesting. So absorbing that.
And I just think it's like basically, I just don't think that doctor would be here on this grimy planet
Mhm.
just because. Like that's not
Yeah.
he does not seem like the kind of person that would be in a place with this much pollution.
Is this the kind of van that has like a bench, like benches in the back?
Loxy, would you have like benches in the back of your van? Is it like a
It-
work
It
thing
would
as well?
probably be more, not necessarily like a workbench, but like storage
Mm.
that might look like a bench
Mhm.
in the back, as opposed to actual like,
Seats.
yeah, seats.
Cool. So I feel like Hybria, she's kind of tall, right? So I feel like she's kind of like standing and trying to like brace herself against like the floor and the ceiling in her tiny kitten heels. But her face gets very pensive and she just says, I came to this planet in order to find my esteemed older brother. You were the one that broke the story on my esteemed older brother. And now we have a doctor here who is my parents' physician who tried to assassinate you, as well as there were people who were sent to find me. It seems as though all of this must be connected in some kind of grand scheme, and also somehow connected to Loxy and Cantor and Zarina. Zarina, was that your name? We haven't been properly introduced.
Yes. Hi, I'm Zarina Nix.
Hello, my name is Zhenfeng Mingzhu Haibria. Since we are all heist partners together, I hereby grant you all permission to refer to me as Haibria.
Right.
Thank you. Zarina, you're all right, yeah? You got out of this safe?
Yes. Livewire. I'm fine physically. Yes. Mhm.
Good.
Yep.
I'm glad.
Zarina, for those of you who aren't super high on drugs, she looks concerned, but not like for his well-being so much as like her own. There's the, oh, this guy's a creeper kind of look on her, on like
We got a creeper.
her face.
And for those of you in the audience who don't know, Liveware looks like a grimy, skeezy Danny DeVito,
Yep.
but only to Zarina. To Hybria, he looks like sort of like a middle-aged, sort of older middle-aged, respectable Chinese businessman. For Loxy, when she's wearing her AR goggles, he looks kind of like a cooler guy that would have like an expensive car. And for
Didn't we say
Cantor,
Mario Lopez?
she looks like
Yeah.
Angela Bassett. So like whatever, Hybria looks like a bunch of Livewire, that's the ship name. Livewire looks like a bunch of different people depending on who you are.
How's the traffic flowing? Are we like in rush hour? Are we like driving? Or...
You're moving
Okay.
pretty smoothly. If anything, the traffic going the other way back to the hospital is chaos.
Mhm.
You can hear a lot of sirens going off, a lot of cars. As much as they're hovering, they're all having to drop down or up, moving out of the way as all of these emergency vehicles are whizzing past you. Where are you headed?
That's a great question.
Excellent question.
Didn't we have a plan?
No. It was
Did
to get
we?
out.
It was to leave and
Uh-huh.
go somewhere, and
Listen.
then Livewire was in the hospital.
Listen, they've they know about. They've been studying us. We can't forget about the attacks on the AI and the George.
Yeah,
There's-
and they also know about my back room of my
sorry.
garage.
Who's George?
Oh, George is a friend of mine, ship captain, has an AI, ship AI, and that AI was attacked, and she gave me a heads up that all the AI all across the system have been started getting hacked into. So whatever this is not just about us. There's something larger going on. Because I doubt that George was hacked in because of me or Hybria. So there's something bigger. Plus, that assassin woman dressed in white murdered somebody right in front of Loxie's shop, but then she disappeared and showed up on Mara. She's maybe some kind of physical illusion or some kind of something's. And look, that the guy that came in that was being hacked into, the mutated, he was being hacked into, mutated before he even got into the same room with us. This is, we're connected, but I don't think we're the whole story.
Yes. More importantly, that is all correct, Livewire, and I'll do the shush shush thing on his face again.
Pull the blanket back.
Importantly, right now, we need to get to somewhere where, one, we have not been to before so that they cannot trace us there. Two, we'll have some sort of painkillers for Livewire for when whatever happens wears off.
He's going to want those.
I personally am not familiar with underground drug dens, but I imagine something like that would be appropriate right now.
At that point,
we can't go anywhere that Zarina knows, because they know her too.
At that point, at the drug den comment, Cantor would perk up and just point as an advertisement went by, and he would say, "Fast Max Burgers."
Are you hungry, Cantor?
And then he would look over at Loxie. Huh?
Are you hungry?
No.
Oh, you just pointed out Fast Max. I didn't know.
Is that an underground drug den? Like I said, I am not familiar with them.
I may send out a few texts. Not that I know anyone. I just might know someone who knows someone.
No, be careful. They know you.
Yes, our electronics could be being tracked. If they are able to hack into a person, I imagine a cell phone might do the trick. I mean, Fast Max is an option. We did just pick it from a billboard sign, and I don't think any of us have ties or Cantor, do you have any association with that place? Do they have drug medication? Do they have painkiller medication?
They do good burgers.
Yeah,
They've got milkshakes.
Yeah, I mean, and milkshakes make everything better. That is like a known fact.
at the mention of pain medication, he would just look and he would just say, "Extra gherkins."
Okay, so maybe not Fast Max.
I just want to say that in my mind, this is my fan thing. Fanon. Hybria is wondering whether or not gherkins is like code words for drugs.
Slang.
It's slang for drugs.
That is actually what's happening in my brain right now. I'm like, is Cantor like a sleeper drug dealer?
Maybe. I don't know.
I will say, if
Stop at a
anyone is going to
CVS.
know,
It'll
it's
be
going to be
fine.
Zarina.
Oh, she's texting right now.
I will also say, with Zarina, you can look at Livewire. Livewire, you feel like you could sit upright, like you could walk, but you'd need maybe some support. It wouldn't be. It'd look more like, it wouldn't look so obvious. But Zarina, you'd also probably know that most places, if you want to go and get some painkillers, you're gonna write it down. It's almost better to order or get hold of something
Yep.
and take it elsewhere, because everything is tracked medical wise.
Mm-hmm. Yep. She's messaging some of her friends.
Sketchy
Jaylon,
friends.
definitely, for sure. Just text.
I'm about to chat
need
right
some
now.
painkillers.
Who are you messaging?
I'm messaging chat to tell them about how I don't like this guy Jaylon.
I'm messaging Jaylon. He kind of knows what's up. Maybe poke him and then see if he knows a guy.
Yeah.
He should be getting the stuff from my house, so he's busy. But if he knows a guy,
Well, this is the thing. Also, would you have painkillers at your house?
She probably
Of
would.
what you do?
Yeah, especially for certain things that aren't as regulated and tracked. I'm sure she has some extra painkillers.
Okay.
So
What
he's
we
picking up my
can
stuff.
say
So,
is
hey, buddy.
you probably have a limited amount on you. They're not
Yeah.
going to last long.
No.
But you could definitely you do tend to get a message back like, why? You okay? Like you get the long sort of message back, which is, you know,
Yep.
why, what's happened, where are you, this, that, and the other.
I'm fine. Have you seen the news? She assumes it's already on the news. The
Yeah,
hospital.
you hear like that you don't get a message back for a while, and sort of after about 5 minutes you get back in all capitals like, what happened, and also what did he do?
Something supremacy assassins. Something. He was really drugged up and was just like, they're after us, and I don't know why I'm included in that, but I felt he seemed pretty genuine about it, and then his friends showed up, and we're out of the hospital.
And you get a message back that says, find somewhere to stop, I'll come bring them to you.
I've got a delivery of painkillers. Not a lot, but it's something. If we could just find a nice, discreet alleyway.
I mean, we
Keep
could
those.
just stop at the next Fast Max.
Sure.
Yes.
I'll text him my address.
Okay. You know that there's sort of one main Fast Max. It's huge. There's like 3 stories
Perfect.
to it.
He'll never suspect.
There's 3 stories to it. Is known as some of the best fast food, and you can pull up and arrive. There's some of these almost like used by these almost like beams of light, sort of creating spaces for where people to park that just sort of go all the way up and down the side of the building. You can see that it looks kind of busy. Busy in the way that it would be easy to sit in there and not look completely odd and stand out as a group. You know, you could almost blend in. And you can see on the front of this huge building is Fast Max, and there's this bolt of lightning that seems to sort of sit through this huge burger on this sign. Everything seems to be very colorful. It's very typical fast food sort of area, but you can walk in and you can see elevators going up and down. You can see stairways, like escalators going up and down to all the different levels. You can see a lot
Not
of
gonna be on the third
families in
level.
here.
Not.
You can see a lot of families in here, people sort of crowded around. So just a standard fast food place. You can see on the other side of this floor is a counter with people in these what look like very fitted sort of shirts with these almost overly padded waistcoats that are in the same colors of Fast Max, which is blues, reds, and oranges. They've got the hat on that has that burger sort of sat on the top of it, and most of them look like younger. individuals. They don't look like they want to be there. They are stood behind these counters, and you can see behind them the huge screens of these adverts flashing past, and the meals of the day, and Fast Max sort of burgers. As you can all walk in as a group.
I'll try to.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say I'm gonna try to snag a table near an emergency exit, perhaps.
There's a lot of doors. It seems to be lots of people seem to be filing in and out, so you can definitely find almost like a booth. It's a very again, in the colors, the reds, the blues, a very padded booth in a very circular motion. And if you're taking live wire, you can. It looks comfortable enough, or sort of like you can prop him up.
I also want to be able to still see our car, so probably near a window, near a door.
Most of this is all windows, especially the first floor. So you can look out into the car park. You can, if anything, you could probably sit on the same side where your car
No more
is
stairs.
parked. Yeah.
No more
you can
stairs.
stay there.
No more.
Stairs are done.
I imagine that I was able to sort of grab my mask and hat as we left. So
Mm-hmm.
I've got like my mask and my hat on in a hospital gown, but like everybody else sees me as whatever they want to see me as. But like I'm just wearing like this hospital
What
gown.
Loxy sees is something very
But,
different. Yeah.
Loxy sees me in a hospital
Livewire.
gown.
Do you have a jacket or something we can tie around your waist?
Hey, I was in a hospital bed this entire time.
Yeah, I know.
I would love a pair of pants. Hopefully,
I
most
would
people
love
see
a
me.
pair of pants for you.
Yes.
I'll give my leather jacket. I'll take it off and hand it to Livewire as everyone's getting settled down, and just say,
But I will note that you see him in full clothing, like in a full suit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just assumed, like, I don't ask any questions. Loxy just said, do you have something to tie around your waist? And I was like, I have something. Here you go. I don't know why you need it, but
Serena now sees Greasy Danny DeVito
Yeah.
with a little leather jacket.
and as everyone's settling down, she'll just say, I know that we are here to procure drugs, but is anyone hungry? I could also go and get us
No,
some.
we should all order food. Yes, it would help us.
I'm happy to pay for it. Please.
Just don't
allow me.
mention anything other than the food when you go up there to order.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Cantor's already in line. He left you all. He's
Oh, I'll go
Yes.
stand with Cantor.
Yeah, someone go keep an eye on him. I'm worried about him.
I go stand next to Cantor.
And as you two go up, I just say to the rest of the group, and I'm sitting there a little stiffly, because bone powder, and I'm like, Loxy, what happened over at your place? And what's this photograph?
Well, we were recovering after the police incident with that guy, and a bunch of watchers, I guess is what they're called, came over, and they all started going through my stuff. I could have sworn I had locked up, but it didn't seem to stop them, and they knew where the door was to my back room, and they knew we were back there, and they said that they were looking for a box, but we found out that they were hired by Hybria's family. They didn't end up taking anything. We still have George.
What box were they looking for? Do you think it was George?
I don't know. It could have been George. They knew that the guy that was murdered at my shop, I had messed with his tracker on his bike, and they knew about that too.
Look,
So I grabbed the box that I had used for that as well. I don't know what they wanted or what they're looking for.
Zarina over there said that the assassin woman showed up at the hospital as well, the one that shot the guy out in front of your garage.
Did we see her? I forgot.
You
I
would have
saw
seen her.
footage of her right at the.
I mean,
Yeah.
did we see her in the hospital?
You didn't.
She was Serena. She was there? Wasn't she just on Mara?
She was, and she's some sort of teleportation ability, perhaps. But if that assassin was there, that means all this happened before we went to the hospital, before we went to the police station, the monitor station. Something's. What is that photograph that?
I don't know.
Cantor has? Where did he get it?
He had a box of his belongings. That had a bunch of Fast Max receipts and that picture in it, and he didn't seem to know anything about it until after he exploded.
Oh. I don't. There's something just bigger going on. I don't know why they would search your place for a
Well,
box.
it wasn't the police. It was private group.
Look, and you can tell he's a little bit conflicted here at this moment. I know they're looking for something, but what they're looking for wouldn't be in a box, so it seems like they're looking for more than one thing.
What are they looking for?
Well, you said they're looking for a box,
Yeah.
so they're looking for at least that and other things.
Livewire, now is not the time to be secretive.
You're right. I will be very upfront. And then he just messages you so that Zarina can't hear it because only at the table it's Zarina, you and he does not want her to hear
And
this.
and like you guys have been talking, and she's been looking at you two the whole time. Like, I'm sitting right here, but she hasn't said anything. She just keeps looking at the window and looking at her phone.
And he just says he says out loud. They said they were looking for data. Inside, he says, so that Zarina can't hear it, he says, Loxy, listen, I've been reporting for a long time. I was more of a legitimate reporter before I look like now, and I did some investigative reporting. They were looking for the data from my story from some years ago. You can't say that out loud. It's important.
Telepathically, I'm going to respond with, does it have anything to do with Zarina? Is that why you're hiding it from her? I just don't understand what's going on right now.
He has this super pained look on his face the minute you say her name. Like, it's this, like, super pained look. And he goes, yes.
Is that why they're after her too?
Yes. And that's all internal, right? That's all an internal conversation.
Loxy's gonna turn to Zarina and be like,
Katie DeVito and Loxy are staring intently into each other's eyes, and I'm just like, looking out the window. Like, wow, this is a little awkward.
Can't stop our
just
love.
imagining. He's like, he says out loud, they're looking for data, and then we're just staring at each other. And like every once in a while, Loxy will kind of like look over at Serena.
Yeah.
And then finally,
I'm like, is this some code? Are they gonna kidnap me?
Frantic
Are these
messaging,
the
please.
people trying to
Serena,
Yeah.
you said that you were targeted as well, right?
I had an incident at my house this morning with feeders, and so the police wanted my report on that. And then all of this happened.
Yeah.
So it's been a day.
They placed fetus in a groceries. It wasn't just like some sort of accident. Like
Yeah, and a
somebody
package
deliberately.
in the mail. Yeah. Which I don't know why. So the police are looking into it. Yeah.
So basically, your place is crawling with supremacy.
Potentially, yes. At least the local law enforcement. I had a friend, a good friend of mine, pick up some of my things that I'd need. So I don't need to go back there for a while.
And we can't really go back to my shop. Those guys knew way too much.
And you know, Livewire is used to talking telepathically and being a little subtle, so he just kind of looks a little, like just a little dejected on the table, like nothing but much is going on, and then he just says to Loxy, he's like, I can explain more, but she can't know what's going on. It puts her in danger. Real danger.
And Loxy's gonna respond, you mean we haven't been in real danger this whole time?
More danger. It could be bad. And he just is like pushing, like, I imagine he's kind of like playing with like a napkin. Do you know what I mean? Just like
Making a swan.
Crumpling up the straw wrapper.
As you sit in this booth in a very
actually, I imagine he plays with a napkin in a way that maybe is weirdly reminiscent for Zarina.
Yeah.
That's all.
It's freaking me out. It's fine. This is
you sit in this awkward silence for a while. But Hybria and Cantor, you're not quite at the tills yet, but are you doing anything in this queue? Are you saying anything to each other?
I imagine this is also an awkward silence. Hybria is just standing next to Cantor, kind of looking between him and like the till people as if they knew each other or something, just trying to like understand the association. And probably after like a few heartbeats or so of standing next to him, she'll just say, family situations are difficult. I understand that now.
Yeah.
Pat pat. What is there that is good to eat here? I have never had food like this before.
I'm gonna get a hamburger and fries, no sauce and extra gherkins.
That sounds delightful. I am not even aware of what gherkins are. I do not believe that my family consumes things such as those.
Me neither.
Oh,
And there's that awkward moment. Sorry, go on. Greg.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Cantor allows there to be that extended, awkward, super awkward, creepy eye contact until he reaches into his pocket and from the box contents pulls out an old receipt and shows it to Hybria, and that exact order, burger, fries, no sauce, extra gherkins, is on it.
it seems though you have ordered this before.
I guess.
Well, I shall be sure to order the same.
Don't blame me.
I will not. I must also comment upon how I am grateful that despite exploding, you seem to be sound of body.
I didn't explode. I crashed in a ship.
Oh. Excellent. Well, I am glad that you are sound of body regardless.
Thank you.
Mind.
Yes.
And you can see that there's been a question that Cantor has been wanting to ask since the beginning of this. He doesn't know how to phrase it. This awkward pause, and this would be the point where somebody with more charisma and more persuasive abilities would have figured out a way to say this. But Cantor, who has none of that, decides to just go ahead and say it. How do you keep changing your clothes?
Oh, it's quite simple. And I hold up my hand and there's a little ring there and I just like tap it and then my clothing like shifts again and I just say, it's just, you know, when you have several high society functions per day, you cannot be seen wearing the same clothing for each function. So therefore, having one of these rings is quite convenient. My clothing is made out of mostly illusions.
Isn't all of it
Pardon me?
clothing? Isn't all clothing made out of illusion?
Yes, disillusion, really.
Extra gherkins. And he turns around.
Extra gherkins. And I imagine they just like both just face forward.
You both face forward. The person sort of takes their tray with their food and moves forward. And you see a young man with the cap on, with the uniform on, sort of stood behind the counter and very tiredly looks down at the side where the counter is. Says, "Hello, welcome to Fast Max, the fastest, freshest, and the tastiest burger in not only now Marius, but also this side of the galaxy. What can I get you today?"
Wow, that is quite an honor. I am very excited to have this burger. Could I please have, and I'm still holding the receipt, I think, and I'll say, for the whole table, so that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5. 5 hamburgers with no sauce and extra gherkins.
And
And
fries.
sort of pause.
And fries.
I'm sorry, we don't do any altercations on the menu.
Cantor would take another, he wouldn't grab it from Hybria, but he would pull out another receipt with that exact order on it and slide it towards, not say a word, just slide it towards the person taking the order.
And you can just see this sort of take it up, look at it, look at both of you, give me a second, and sort of turns and walks back to the other side of the restaurant, sort of back behind where you can smell the burgers, you can see everything around. This looks to be maybe an 18-year-old young man, does not want to be here.
I'm gonna get my manager.
Yeah. And at this point, Serena, you do receive a text from Sleaze.
Oh, thank God.
And if anything, you just sort of get outside, got everything you need.
Like, oh, your delivery's here. I'm gonna go step outside, pick it up.
You're muted, Livewire.
You shouldn't go by yourself.
It'll be fine.
I'll keep an eye on her from here.
Could you go with her?
I'm not gonna
Please?
leave you alone.
I'm fine. They're right there at in the line.
You just had an assassin try to kill you.
You're
It
growing
happens.
bones, sir.
I know. Please, Loxy.
Growing bones, sir.
I'll be
Sorry.
right back. It'll
No,
be very
please
fast.
follow her, please.
I just...
I'll stand in the doorway.
Okay.
I'm gonna keep an eye on both of you.
I mean, you can sit in the booth and still see, like, from the window if you can, because it's all windows.
Yeah, but I
everywhere.
gotta appease Livewire.
You can definitely stand by, like, they're like automatic doors, so even though you stand there, they're constantly just.
I just want Loxy within range to save Zarina in case there's a kidnapping. Like, I'm not nervous about anything. I'm just saying.
I'm mildly paranoid.
Yeah. And I understand that he feels like responsible for her well-being based on the awkward telepathic communication that we had. So therefore, I feel sort of responsible for her well-being now.
Okay. Well, you can go stand by the door. Livewire, you're still sort of propped up in the booth with your napkin. But
Which
Serena,
you can see outside because it's all windows.
Yeah, it's all windows. But Zarina, you walk outside, you can see Sleaze there. He seems to have a couple of your bags with him as requested. He stood kind of in the car park area, which is kind of all the way around the building. And he's just like, "You all right? What the hell happened?"
Okay. It's complicated. I don't know exactly. There are a bunch of crazy people in there. I'm not sure. They all seem to be connected. One of them seems mostly reasonable, but she's very rich, and you know that. So
Right.
Mingju Hybria, something like that.
And he sort of
Rich-
shrugs his shoulders. He's like,
I know it. She keeps saying.
"Are
her name
you
every
all
time.
right?"
I'm okay. I'm gonna. She looks at the bag. She's like, do you have the painkillers I asked for? These
Yeah. And you sort of,
regrowing
like-
bones, and it's gonna be very loud if he doesn't get that. And I
Right.
don't need that in my life. And
So these aren't for
so-
you or anything.
No. But I will take my bags. Let me just go drop this off first, real quick.
Yeah, and he sort of hands out. It's
Yeah.
it's almost like this packet that you've used before. It's almost like the
Mhm.
equivalent of a first aid kit of painkillers.
Yeah.
And he passes it over to you. You can see all of your main stuff in there, and he looks kind of laden. You feel like he's come here with all your bags because he didn't know what to come with. So there's quite a few things hanging off him.
Yeah. And she'll go, I'll be right back for stuff. And I'll walk up with the first aid kit because based on the last readings I got off of him, he doesn't have a lot of time left before his painkillers wear off, does he? No.
He had about 30 minutes until it was going down.
Yeah.
You
yeah,
can
and
see though, like Sleeve's like looking through the window to see if he can see, sort of sees Loxy, who he doesn't know, but for some reason is watching him, and he's just staring back.
No, I'll come up to Lexi. I'm like, I got the medicine. It's my friend. He's also got some of my stuff with him. So do you want to get
Okay.
this to Livewire, and then I'll get my stuff real quick?
Yeah, do you want me to unlock the car?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Alright. I'll just like hit a button, the car unlocks. And then I'll
Pass
take
off
the
the
stuff
first aid.
to... Yeah.
If you approach Sleazy, he's like, who's that? And why did
It's
they...
his friend Loxy. She runs a garage. I'm not sure if they're trying to kidnap me, but she and Livewire have some very intense looks at each other, and they keep looking at me. So we're gonna go. Right, Mother.
Right. Yeah. No, my
Yeah.
car's around the corner. Yeah. Okay. And he's like, it's not obvious, but he's like, I've got some more stuff, almost as if he's trying to look towards Loxy. And he half takes your hand, if you let him take it, and starts to lead you back towards his car, and opens the door for you.
She's like, let's quickly move because this is freaking her. She's pretty freaked out right now.
Mm.
Assassins, feeders, strange people, supremacy stuff. So
You see
Yeah,
him
sh-
slide into the front seat and immediately start turning on the engine. Loxy, I'll say you see it as you see the doors closed as you turn around to give the painkillers to Livewire. Because Livewire, you're probably starting to feel it now. Like you're feeling you're feeling not just achy anymore. You're actually, if I could describe to you what bones feel like growing back, and you can physically feel it, and it's
So it
giving
doesn't
you
feel good.
the heebie-jeebies, basically.
I don't know if you've ever been that person. I have, where I've had major surgery, and because you're on painkillers, the doctors say, "Oh, remember to take these painkillers like before they wear off." And you're thinking,
Mhm.
"I feel fine. I don't need to do that. I'll just go to sleep." And then you wake up at
And
4 in the
then
morning,
bang.
and it's not good.
Yeah.
Like
Not.
it's that moment. It's that
Yep.
moment. Yeah.
Loxy's going to run to Livewire, slap the painkillers on the table and say, "I'll be right back." And she's
Okay.
gonna follow Zarina.
I'll say Serena's in the car at this point as you
Yeah,
put the stuff down.
I'll go up and I'll knock on the window.
like kind of like do that jump, like look like that was fast.
Like Sleaze jumps as well, but he's there like pushing the button. Like he looks rather panicked.
Start.
I get
Just push the window down, just like a little bit. Stranger danger.
well, Loxy's really short, so you probably only see like this up of her. And she's gonna say, "Look, I don't know what your relationship with Livewire is
I
there.
just met him today. He's very creepy.
For some reason, he feels responsible for your well-being, so now I feel responsible for your well-being. But if you feel like this guy, do they know that?
Like-
Do they know where he lives? Hey, what's up? Do they know where he lives?
Does okay? Who is they and Livewire or
No, not Livewire. Livewire's whatever. I'm talking about whoever's in the feeders after you.
I don't know who sent the feeders after me. I just can't go back to my house.
And like Sleaze sort of leans across and sees these like eyes
Uh-huh.
just peering over.
Just like
He's
really big, really alert bird eyes.
Had too much coffee, kind of.
Yeah,
Ow.
just like
blink sideways, kind of. Yeah. It sort of looks at you, and you've got these little feathers that sort of, you can see the colors. Like, if it helps, I'm gonna take her back to my place before we do a sweep of the flat. So don't worry, they ain't gonna know where she is.
don't take her with you to the back to her apartment.
I wouldn't. It's a strange bird, but you know.
Where did that dog come from? It's a street dog
There
running
it
around.
goes.
But yeah, so Loxy is just going to, you know, here's my information. If you need any assistance, reach out to me. I don't know how I'm going to tell Livewire that you're leaving right now, because for some reason he's really concerned about.
I'm concerned about how much he's concerned. It's
Yeah, and again, like Slee's leaning over here. It's a bit creepy. You should probably talk to him about it.
Yeah, I'll let him know. He's, you know, he's
Clingy.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
And you see Sleaze doesn't look too happy about it. Like, he is glancing back towards where Livewire is. He looks uncomfortable.
well, I mean, Loxy doesn't really trust this guy either.
Oh, he doesn't look
terribly
like
trustworthy.
No,
he
no.
doesn't look like you should trust him.
Serena.
Alice, describe him. Describe Sleaze for us. I just want the description again.
Well, currently he is in the one suit that he owns. It's probably been borrowed from someone. It looks like it was a nice suit once. It's definitely faded. It's definitely too short for him. It sort of comes to about here. He has very slicked back gelled hair, like proper slicked back. He looks kind of tired, like he's been up all night, pretty pale. You can see that through like his fingernails, they're sort of almost as if they've been bitten right down, but they're kind of like mucky, as if he's been working on mods or engines or anything. That looks, it's kind of a weird mix. It's sort of, you can tell from someone who works on things like that, you know, he does stuff like that, but he's in a suit. The tie is slightly askew. It doesn't look like it's been put on properly. You can tell it's one of those hologram ones as well, where you just have the knot and you can flick the color, because it is phasing in and out. It's not great. And he's got a watch on his wrist. Definitely fake.
Loxy sort of takes the essence of Sleaze in and looks at Serena and goes, I don't know how you got roped into this, but
Don't
the
you either.
supremacy is somehow, now I assume they've seen us all together. So
My plan's to
if
play
you-
very low.
yeah, but if you need anything, Loxy's gonna pull out her phone and like hit a couple of things and just sort of like send her information to Zarina's device. If you need anything, you
If I
can reach out.
Almost get assassinated again, I'll let you know.
Yeah, please do. And I'll
If they
Be
need
in
mod
contact.
stuff or more painkiller stuff, just yeah.
we probably will.
Okay. Yeah.
Based on the fact that he's regrowing bones.
Bones, yeah.
Bones.
He only has a few hours left though, so that's
Okay.
Sleaze turns
well-
on the radio.
how long is that going to last him?
You know, it probably lasts about 6 hours.
about as long as it's going to take the bones to set.
Okay,
Should be enough.
great. Yeah, again, if you need anything, let me know.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And Loxy's gonna look at Sleaze and be like, if anything happens to her under your watch, you let me know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just eyes and like a little hand
that's
that's just like pointing at him and like
I mean, it was great to meet you. and he sort of holds forward a hand over
Mhm.
and like takes your little hand and sort of does a weird little shake on it.
Great.
And
I'm
as you
gonna-
said, you got you got contact information.
I'm gonna
you
send
know.
my information to his phone as well.
You can
Just-
hear it ping in his pocket, but he doesn't look at it.
Yeah, I don't need him to look at it. I don't.
But it's
he
got like a
just
real
needs to have
obnoxious
it.
ping too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like.
Like a song that's on the radio all the time.
Or maybe it's like I
The
don't know.
song
Like,
that was on the radio all the time 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, every time he gets information, all you hear is shot, 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 shot,
Yeah.
shot. Yeah.
And he doesn't move, like his face doesn't move, and it's kind of that very broad smile. He's like, well, thanks for caring. I do like it when people care, for my friends. It's nice to know that she has other people she can rely on.
And Loxley just does not like that at all. Loxley's like, yeah.
I will say
and
he
it's-
doesn't radiate intelligence. he doesn't. He doesn't. To
He
put
also
it
doesn't
like-
radiate sincerity, at least
Oh God,
to me.
no.
So Loxley's just gonna look at him and give him one of these and like walk away as he says that.
And Zarina, he sort of starts to wind your window up. She
Yep.
seems nice and starts to pull away.
Definitely. We've got creepy, crazy, uptight, and then like chill. She's the chill one.
She's a chill one.
Yes.
She seemed quite aggressive to me. He sort of watches you march back into Fast Max.
Oh, you haven't seen the uptight one.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Well.
Okay.
Let's get you somewhere safe. And he pulls back and starts. You can see the live wire. I will say you see Loxy walking back in. You can see Sleaze's car sort of reverse up, and he definitely looks at you as he drives away. And you can see Zarina in the car.
But he's got a real smug look on his face.
It
too.
is that, holding on to like the wheel, just gives a bit of a smile as he goes.
And Loxy has like 2 sets of information. She has the public, this is my garage information, and she has this is a temporary, will go away if she chooses to information, which is what she sent to Zarina and Sleaze.
And live wire, you see Loxy walk back in on her own.
where did you let her go with that man?
Look, she doesn't trust us, and frankly, I don't really blame her. What did you say that you look like to her again?
Describe me as looking dumpy, old, thinning hair, balding.
Loxy's gonna like prop herself up on her feet in the booth and like put her elbows on the table. Why does she look different? Why do you look so different to her
Yeah,
than everyone else?
that's a really good question, Loxy. I shouldn't.
So that's a her choice, not a you choice.
No, I don't think it is.
Hmm.
You know, I didn't always look like this. I mean, I looked like how when you take your glasses off, that's how I normally looked. I didn't always have this mod. I got this mod when I needed to,
Disappear.
when I needed to disappear. And do you know who gave me this mod?
Was it her?
It was him.
Hmm. So does he know what you look like?
Yeah. But the
Does
question I
he
want to know
know?
is why did he make it so that I look like that to her?
Hmm. So you two knew each other then?
Sleaze and I?
Zarina and you.
Loxy, Yes. But she doesn't know.
Hmm.
I mean, she doesn't know this.
The mod you or the you?
She thinks I'm dead.
That might be why you don't look the same.
No, but I wouldn't look gross and disgusting to her.
It sounds like Sleaze is doing what his name
Yeah.
says he would, essentially.
He said he'd help me out. And he did, I suppose.
Well, if you needed to disappear from everything you knew, maybe it's better that you don't look appealing to someone you knew before.
I suppose.
But also, we gotta talk about your boundaries, man.
What?
You really freaked Zarina out.
I didn't say anything to her. I didn't tell her anything. She was being attacked by a monster. People tried to kill her.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. I just try to keep her safe. That's all I've ever done is try to keep her safe.
But from a stranger that's not... I don't know. She did stay with you in the hospital, so that's interesting that she did that.
Loxy, I think I messed up. I think this is all my fault, all of it. I think everything that's happening is my fault.
From the data that they're looking for?
Yeah,
Why would they come to my place for that then?
I don't know. Maybe they found me out and were stalking me for... I don't know. But why else would this be happening if it weren't my fault?
There's a... I don't know, there's a lot going on right now. And I think we need to talk to Cantor and Hybria a little bit more to see what their side of things are. Because we know our side, and to me it doesn't make a lot of sense.
Look, they had a picture of... I thought that I'd kept her separated from me, right? I thought that there'd be no one that could connect us, and that would keep her safe. And that she wouldn't come looking for me if she thought I was dead. She thought I were alive, she'd come looking for me and then she'd be in danger. But when I was in the hospital and that doctor came to threaten me, he had a photograph of us from before. So they know she exists.
And they know you two are connected.
Yeah.
And they know that your data has something to do with her. That they're looking for.
It's what I always feared, that they would threaten her to try to get me to give up the data, but...
And she can't know because she can't know that you two know each other.
Yeah. And now it's just gone on so long, I don't... Loxy, I never lied to her face until today, and now I'm lying to her face. I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
I don't know either. This is very complicated. This is very, very, very complicated. She thinks you're dead.
Yeah.
So that's not great for that.
That asshole made me look gross to her on purpose.
So you two, like, knew each other. Like...
Sleaze and I? Loxy, come on!
I think I'm starting to see what's happening.
What?
You and Serena, like, dated.
I was gonna ask her to marry me.
That's more than dated. That's very serious.
She's my everything. Everything.
Okay, well then now this makes a lot more sense. Why you were so concerned about her. And if Sleaze knew that,
Yeah.
and yeah, Sleaze doing this sleazy thing.
I don't know what to do. I just don't want her. I just never wanted her caught up in all of this. You know,
Well,
Hybria's all involved in this as well.
oh yeah, her family sent those watchers to my garage.
Yeah. And, the story that I wrote that's causing all this trouble was about her family. I thought maybe at first she was the one that sent them after me. But it looks like it's not true.
Wait, then what does that have to do with Zarina?
She's
If
never
it's
been.
about Hybria's family.
She's never been involved in this. They never knew that I was seeing her, that we'd been in a relationship for years. But when everything went bad, I knew that if they would do anything to get the information that I had, and that if they would use any leverage that they could to.
I see.
So
Yeah. Well, I guess Cantor is the only missing piece really right now. And
Yeah.
frankly, me. Wait, why am I involved in this?
I don't. Could you both be just collateral damage?
I mean, unless I worked on the wrong thing.
Maybe. I'm sorry if I just thought I would just end up in some backwater alley and just be anonymous and disappear, crawl under a rock, and no one would find me. I'm sorry.
I mean, look, it's not really your fault. It's just a crazy set of circumstances.
Look, Loxy, you're one of the people that I trust the most out of all the people left in this world, right? So I have to tell you one more thing. And this is bad. You know the data
Yeah?
that they wanted from me? The doctor said he wanted it, and I don't have it. There were 3 copies. One they destroyed, right? One I destroyed. And there's one other copy, and they know about the 3rd copy, and they wanted it from me, and I don't have it.
Where is it?
I left it in our old apartment, hidden, and before I died, which means she might have it, but not know.
Is it hidden, like, in the walls? Was it hidden in an item?
Yeah, it was hidden in an item.
What was it?
Oh, it was a small statue that we got when we were on vacation together once. And it was a present I got for her, and I hid the data stick in that because I figured it was insulated. They wouldn't be able to find it in a scan, and I didn't leave it for her. I just hid it in the apartment, and if she kept the statue, then she has it.
And then you died, so you couldn't go back and get it.
Yeah.
How do I ask her about this without making it totally obvious?
I don't know. This is my problem. Yeah.
We might have to go check out her apartment.
That won't look bad.
It won't look suspicious at all.
Nope. I didn't.
And that guy had a bunch of her stuff. Do you think he would have grabbed a random statue?
I don't know. I always figured knickknacks are good places to hide things.
You're not wrong. Hiding things in plain sight.
Yeah. And I look up towards the counter, like clear worry just all over my face about, and also guilt, like guilt, worry, like it's all just right there.
Yeah, I'm also gonna look over at the counter because what is happening?
Yeah, you look over towards the counter as you've had this discussion, and you can see there's a queue forming behind Hybria and Cantor, as someone has sort of disappeared off. And from where Cantor and Hybria are, you can hear an argument going on sort of behind the you can sort of see it through. You can see through some of the beneath some of the heaters and some of the cookers and things like that. And you can hear kids look, I know we don't do altered orders. It's not something that really happens. And you can hear a pretty angry voice back is just like, look, I said we don't take any altered orders. And is who even gave you this? And he sort of like holds up this receipt. He's like, this is, and you can hear the voice pause. In Hybria and Cantor, you can sort of see just through, underneath these hot lights, you can see an older man, salt and pepper hair, very neat, dark skin, very bright green eyes, and just in a shirt and a pair of trousers. And Cantor, it's the voice that triggers it again. And you can hear this voice coming through going, where did you get it? And you can almost, you feel your hand almost clench at that moment. As in the back of your head, you hear, you'd be devastated if you lost this. And I think that's where we will leave it this week, ready for next week, as we've run over just a tiny bit.
Oh my god.
Alice,
Petition to make this game 4 hours long.
I need more.
Oh,
Alice, when you DM me to say we may run over and I say perfectly fine, I mean longer than a minute.
I said a few minutes.
Damn it.
God damn.
Okay. Awesome.
No.
Let's go around and talk to everybody. Let's start with Lindy. Lindy, my friend, how are you? Where can we find you online?
oh man, I'm doing great. I'm with my best friend. Escaped these creepy, crazy motherfuckers. Definitely nothing bad going on here. And I also loved Trooper dropping those backstory bombs that we had collaborated on together, and just seeing
did that
everyone's
together.
faces. Yeah, that was a fun Discord chat. But yeah, that was so much fun. I can't wait for next week to find out just what's going to happen. You can find me online at LaughLoveLindy, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, etc. You can find me every Monday, Tuesday on my channel for D&D. Wednesday nights here for The Witcher.
Yeah.
Fridays here for this. Tonight, this Friday night, you will be running Aliens on my channel, so check that out. It's gonna be streaming. It's gonna be so much fun. Greg's guesting, because he's awesome. And then tomorrow, you can find me on Wandering DM. I don't mix up my WDM channels at all. Playing Pirates, and then on Sunday, a Tabletop to Keyboard for a Session 0 character creation for Zweihander game. I'm gonna be should be fun. So yeah, that's me.
Fantastic, my friend. Fantastic. Let's drop down to Lily. Lily, my friend, how are you? Where can we find you online? And you and I were both like hit with a pan at that high altitude bomb drop.
It was so funny because we were both hit with it, but Cantor and Hybria are just standing at the counter like, where is this guy? Like, what's happening? I'm sorry, this is taking so long.
Yeah, a little metadata too. It's probably the most relaxed Cantor has ever been, even though it's super awkward. The silence is like exactly what he likes, so it's, you know.
It's also what Hybria likes.
They're the best.
But yeah.
pair.
Yeah, man, great game. Gosh, I love this game so much. If you enjoy my characters and want to see me doing other stuff, I'm the girl with many lives. You can catch me streaming on Scraticus channel, WebDM, and Gilding Light. On Gilding Light, I actually DM a game, which is a psychedelic magical girl adventure, and I'm very excited about. We're just wrapping up our first arc, so if you want to get into a game that only has like 12 hours of a thing to watch and it's not that much to get into, then come have some laughs and weird crazy adventures with us. And yeah, you can find me on Instagram and Twitter and Twitch at Lily Sparks with an X. Mwah, I love you all.
Amazing. And let's jump over to Erica. Erica, my friend, how are you? Where can we find you online? And I don't usually say this until we hit the green room, but my art is absolutely the eyes and the finger. That's the art.
I am doing great. I love this game. It is so cinematic and epic, and even the like we're having a burger is so much more than that. You can find me everywhere at A Style Pixie. I usually stream on my personal channels Monday through, I guess, Thursday now, starting at 3 p.m. Pacific time. And you can also find me. Where else can you find me? I have other things going on, but my mind just broke.
Girl Scouts Glory.
Girl Scouts Glory. Yes, we are coming back. We had to push the date a little bit farther. We got some T's to cross and I's to dot. But we are coming back, so keep an eye out for that. And I will be part of the 24-hour charity stream on Scratch Channel. And that same weekend, it's going to be a lot of RP for me that weekend. I'm part of the D&D Live reality RP event. So I'm playing, I don't know if I can say, I don't know what I'm allowed to say. I have an Instagram account, reality RP du Best Shane. So that's cool. You can find me doing that as well. So thanks.
Fantastic. As I desperately try to find the correct link for the Scraticus 24-hour stream, let's jump up to my friend Trooper. Trooper, how are you? You're dropping bombs today, and where can we find you online?
Look, I wouldn't have, but there's no way that Livewire could have kept that from Loxy, because Loxy's like his buddy, and also like this is a bad situation. It's you know, it's a little stressful. I'm okay. I'm great. Like, this is a great crew. I'm super happy to be playing this game with everybody, and I love Lindy so much. Lindy and I have been. Wouldn't it be funny if Lindy had no idea any of that information at all? It was just made it up in the moment. That'd have been hilarious. But Lindy and I have been conspiring for quite some time, and it's just been so great. And so wonderful. I love this crew. I love this crew so much. Everybody's so good. You can find me at TrooperSJP at my channel tonight at 7 Eastern. I'll be running the penultimate episode of season 1 for the City of Light and Shadow, my French Resistance campaign. I'm also going to be in the 24-hour Scrat-a-thon, Scraticus Charity-a-thon, RPG-a-thon, for goodness. So, come, you know, see it. It'll be cool. And also, everybody's great. I love you all. Also, hey, people in the universe, thanks for being here. Much love. Take care of yourself. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to others. And thank you for being here. That's all.
And finally, last but certainly not least, the wizard, not just behind the curtain, but floating in the air, the actual Oz. Alice, my friend, how are you? Where can we find you online?
I'm White Rabbit Pig. That's where you can find me on Twitter and on Instagram. As people have said already, we are doing another 24-hour charity stream for a very good cause. It's full of wonderful people. So please come along and help support a cause close to our hearts. Also, I am the other half is the Scratchers Academy. If you hadn't guessed. I'm also a DM over on Gilding Light, which will be going live in 4 hours, so my Fridays are usually quite full. I love this game so so much. I love all the characters. I love that I can leave you in a burger fast food place and just things happen. I love it. I love it so much. The role play of this group is amazing. Also, I've just remembered, I do photography when I'm allowed back out into the wild again, because I'm allowed outside for the first time since February in a couple of weeks. Check out my Patreon, because there will be a lot going on there, because I have itchy photographer fingers. But yeah, I'm already so excited for next week. So thank you. Back over to you, Greg.
Amazing. As for me, I am Grimjack21502 on the Twitter, Tales from the Grim here on the Twitch. I've said it before, I will say it again, I will continue to scream it forever and ever. I love this game, I look forward to this game, I love all of these characters, I think about these characters, I think about the game. For the last 2 weeks, I keep like waking up every morning and going, I'm one day closer, but I did explode. And so there was a balance that was going on over the last 14 days, and I live for it. This is the best. This is the epitome of storytelling. Legion, thank you so much for watching and contributing with your comments in chat. It's always very rewarding to see that, especially, you know, when this world is being described, how much it affects you as well. And that's all Alice. That is all Alice creating this fantastic playground, this sandbox for all of us. And for those of you that are watching on YouTube, please throw a comment down, join us on Discord, and we will talk about some Aether's Walkway. Join us on Twitter. All of these are wonderful people to follow. Their links are in the doobly-doo. I also want to say this is made possible too because of our sponsorship with Roll20, our virtual tabletop of choice. Make sure that you continue the games that may have been put on pause whenever you were forced to leave your collective wooden tables where you sat down to tell a tale. Grab a virtual one and keep those stories going. Imagination beats a lot of things, and the fellowship that is born from such collaborative narratives cannot be beat. And also for our brand new sponsor, World Anvil. Link is straight down for me right now. World Anvil is a fantastic place if you are a DM, a player, or a writer of any type of fiction or any type of nonfiction. Use it to be able to put your thoughts together, create your world, hammer it out, and then present it to your players, which we will be doing here for Aether's Walkway as soon as we get some things fired up and get the world built with the anvil. But with all that being said, I couldn't love this anymore. And again, I'm still a little pissed that I was told we were going over and it was a minute. So I will carry that with me for 7 days. But also, before we leave, the very last thing I will say is, I said it in chat, and I'm continually going back to this. Livewire is Deadpool. Coming back, the marriage, and that blows my mind. But as the campfire goes down, there's only one thing left to say. You can't always roll nat 20s, but you can always roll play. We'll see you next time, friends.